We're back to the Neil Haley Show. My guest today is Dr. Christopher Goldberg. Dr. Chris Goldberg is a professor. He's a STEM teacher and former teacher and author. How are you, Dr. Chris? And you're going to do a
Very good.
STEM activity on TV and radio. So I'm excited to hear this and how you're going to do it. So go ahead, step by step, of how you're going to do the STEM activity.
Oh, sure. I kind of created, I don't know, I created it. I utilized a STEM kit when I was teaching during the pandemic, because at that point students were not able to share materials. We had students that were virtual and I could get them one way or another the bag of STEM materials. And the idea is, in STEM, you don't need to spend a lot of money. You don't have to have fancy robots. They're great. I've used them many times, but you can use your engineering skills, your problem solving, creativity with next to no money, dollar store money, or recyclable, reusable items that everyone has in their house, such as the paper towel roll, such as the toilet paper roll, such as straws. And I have, if you can, even the paper straws, because we care as much about the environment as anybody out there. Tin foil, and these items can be used. Caps of containers. I have a zillion of these different caps. This is from vitamins, and then small ones of soda. I don't drink soda though, but water bottles, things like that. Rubber bands, spoons. How many of these have we gotten since the pandemic? Popsicle sticks. They were maybe bigger in my day when we were growing up, but they're still pretty big. Cups. It's a recyclable cup, can be used again and again and again. A couple other little things like that. I did also put in a marker, but I got, like, at the dollar store, you can get 20 of these for $1 even. So if you're a teacher, you could make this STEM kit. I created these STEM kits, gave them to my kindergartners during the pandemic. First marking period, they used them the entire year. So all these materials, some of them with me did 5 projects, and then they did 15, 25 more. And what's so great about it is I had 10 different things that they could build just on the top of my head, from a rocket ship to a person or a monster or just a tall structure. And I would teach them, all right, how many items could you use to fasten something together? Tin foil, a rubber band. I also have, these tie strings. You can put something together with this. The pipe cleaners, you can tie something together. So you have different ways to fasten. Then if I said, all right, let's say we were going to do a cardboard arcade and you needed something round to throw. So you could take some tin foil and you can make it into a ball. So I would kind of test the students, or I would ask them, prompt them, what could we do to accomplish this? What could we do to accomplish that before we start building something, so they see all the different possibilities? And that led to so many more, because they would come up with things. Kindergartners would come up with things I would have never thought of. How could you propel something? And there's, a rubber band if you're going to propel something with a cardboard arcade idea. So there's so many uses for this. It's completely inexpensive. It can go home. It can come back. It can lead to more ideas by students. Again, you could use it virtually, any level. I did it from K to 8, and they built so many and designed so many different things and reuse them. So, and I've used these and encourage my student teachers who I supervise to use them, and they've had incredible results. It's really been a lot of fun.
It definitely seems like it, and it's something that, bam, you don't need certain things. It almost reminds me of when, how they were trying to teach science, where you have little kits to go do these things.
Yeah.
Well, but you got to do it in all the classrooms. You got to have that hands-on activities so that they really can understand things, and that creates the ability for them to have higher order thinking skills and to be able to learn to create stuff themselves. Instead of the teacher directing them all the time, they're discovering, right?
That's exactly what it is, because once you give them just the basic information and give them a couple ideas, they run with it. You don't even need you don't need to tell them anything more. And it is easy to integrate all different subjects using these, science with a rocket ship and building a bridge. We did that from a story which kind of had math and science and language skills. There's so many ways to do it. I've done it in social studies too, and we made a map out of the materials, every kind of thing mathematically. So there's so many uses, and what I loved about STEM was it's endless. You can go in any direction, and it is student directed.
Powerful stuff. Best place people can go right now is where?
Either on social media at Dr. Chris Goldberg on Instagram and Twitter, and chrisgoldbergbooks.com, and they can check out my book, of course, Aliyah and the STEMsational Problem Solvers, What's Cooking, and the second book is coming along extremely nicely. I am very excited. Should be out in the fall, in October. I am pretty sure it will be. And it's going to be fantastic, really promoting STEM for all students. Focus on underrepresented populations, but very inclusive for all students.
All right, excellent. You're listening and watching the Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.